All right, hi everyone. Welcome back for day three of the virtual AFBF festival. Thank you so much for coming back. Got another busy day today. We've got Infinite kicking us off, and then we're joined by Nirvana and Drop Bear and Lucky Saint as well later on. So yeah, it's brilliant that we've got both Chris and Tom from Infinite joining us today. So hi guys.
Hi Robin, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, I was saying just before, I'm starting to flag a little bit after day three, but it's good to see you and you're, keeping me going. So cheers.
Broadcasting live from the Hanaway kitchen anyway.
The
Yeah.
Hanaway kitchen, love it. How are you guys getting on with lockdown and everything?
Yeah, good, good. I mean, we actually live together as well as being brothers and working together.
Okay.
So in some ways, it's not so bad. Like just sort of been working from home, I guess, a lot like everyone else. And yeah, I think we might start heading back into the office soon because it's not too far. It's only like a 10-minute walk. We're pretty lucky with that. But hoping to get a bit more back to normality. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, all good. It's been...
you managed to launch a new beer, haven't you, recently? So
yeah, that was good. Stay Home IPA, which yeah, it's like a juicy IPA with Galaxy and Mandarin and Bavaria hops, all raising money for the sort of COVID-19 NHS Together Fund.
So what was that called? Stay Home.
Stay Home, yeah.
Nice.
Here we go. Like Blue Peter. Wait, how do you do this? There we go.
Perfect. Oh wow, cool.
Stay for that. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, let's open up what we've got today. So I think most people at home have got the IPA.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, let's crack it open.
Nice Sunday afternoon beer.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. And you've always had the same branding, haven't you, since you started out? You have.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, we sort of decided to sort of stick with what we had from the start. I think, like, I guess in terms of coming up with the branding, we always wanted something that was like clean and fresh. Striking that difficult balance between being, saying that it's someone knowing that it's alcohol free from like the name Infinite Session, I guess, and it does, says it relatively subtly on the can, but also not standing out as being alcohol free too much. I think like we wanted something that people could drink in like, a pub or a party or whatever, and it didn't scream like preachiness or anything like that. Like it just sort of blend in, and sort of balancing that blending in and standing out at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of why we went for what we did with the branding, I guess. I think that really come from like, probably about a year or so before we started, as we were starting to get into like alcohol-free beers. Really, like there was one moment particularly where Tom and I and like our friend Will, we all played Sunday League football together, and Saturday night sort of at a mate's sort of house party had sort of all sort of, because we all drink, and that's an important part of our kind of DNA, I guess. But we said like, we're going to limit it to kind of 3, maybe 4 like regular pints, and then the rest of the evening like we'll kind of switch in and out of alcohol-free beers. And I remember we just we tore off the labels at this party. Like we were all hiding them because we were just really embarrassed of like this sort of silver blue like branding that was like a sort of Weight Watchers beer kind of thing. So, for us in the design, it was really important that we got something that like we felt was confident enough to just sort of stand proud and just no one would really care if it was alcohol free or not.
Yeah. I think you like you said, you wouldn't be able to tell straight away that it's an alcohol free beer. That it's sort of in line with the rest of the sort of craft beer branding that you see in the shops.
Yeah, sure. Well, cheers anyway.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
So when did it all start then? When was what was the start? When was the start of Infinite? How did it kick off, and how did you get to where you are today?
So I guess it was just over 2 years ago that we launched Craft Beer Rising.
Okay.
So we just had the second year one just before lockdown, I guess. That was the third time that we'd been there. But
I guess before that, like Chris and I have been living together for like 6 years now, and we've sort of gone on this journey of just living in London. We live in East London. We're surrounded by all these great kind of breweries that have been popping up for the last like decade plus, and really getting into the craft beer scene. But it was when we were trying to kind of moderate our drinking, that's when it was tough. Like the options that were out there kind of 3-4 years ago are just nowhere near what they are now. So like as Chris said, we were sort of pretty active, sort of playing sports, also just trying to get, like everyone, just get stuff done. And we're just finding like, you know, drinking all the time was just slowing us down. So just trying to find those options that would help. And there were beers that we were finding that were actually pretty good. They never felt entirely complete.
Okay.
So yeah, we just set off on an adventure, almost like similarly to sort of what we see on like sort of your feed, like trying all these different beers, like VAFBF beers from like around the world, and you know, traveling a bit. Like, you know, the likes of Germany is such a sort of a developed market for alcohol beer. You kind of go out there and you can just get it on tap, and it's incredible. So yeah, that's where it had kind of come from, and we just thought there were parts of different aspects of these beers that we felt like if we could just really bring them together, that maybe we could sort of have just this more kind of rounded product.
So had you guys done, like, were you in the industry before? Like how did, so you're drinking the beers, but how did it come about to then start making them?
So I mean, I've been in food and drink since I was at uni kind of thing, and worked like on product development projects and stuff like that. So I guess I came at it from that point of view, and I think it was I did quite a lot of early research, particularly just on non-alcoholic processes, and like a lot of scientific like papers and stuff. Not that I'm really anyway qualified for that, but we went out to Germany, we went to Weinsteffen, to the research university, spoke to them. They've got PhD like students working on this sort of stuff. And I think it was like, I think that it was helpful probably having a bit of like a sort of a positive but slightly naive view on like what was achievable and everything else. Because I think at the time we were like, well, we liked this about the kind of, you know, the wheat beer, the German wheat beers, for example, like they were probably the biggest influence early days. But just knowing like, well, we wanted to create more of like more beers down the sort of pale ale and IPA sort of style. We were like, well, if we can incorporate the sort of body and mouthfeel that you get from these kind of beers and sort of match that more with like layering on like hops and flavor and aroma. And, you know, to be fair, obviously, like, for me, it's not the perfect non-alcoholic beer, but Nanny State was also like, you know, a reasonably good reference point at that point, because it was brewed in a different way. You know, we felt that like Nanny State like showed us a lot of things, but it wasn't the exact sort of beer we wanted to do, but it like was a reference point, if you like.
It showed it showed you that there was an alternative that could be achieved.
Wheat beers and the lagers sort of thing.
So I guess like, you know, that was an influence, if you like.
Nice. So what were the steps? What were the first beers you brought out?
So we've still only really, I mean, Stay Home Apart, which I guess is like probably more of a one-off beer to raise money for this. We've still just got the 3 core range. We've got our pale ale pills and IPA, and pale ale was the first beer that we worked on, and was our only beer for the first, I guess, 6 months that we were out there, and then we slowly dripped in the IPA and pills.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And where did you brew the first beers?
So back then was with Sandbrooks, and they were really great. So Sandbrooks in Battersea, they were great in sort of helping us get it to market. If you like. It's funny actually. I remember I emailed some guy from the London Brewers Alliance when I was looking for a contract brewery to work with, and from memory, and this might be wrong, but from memory, I had like there's 2 responses that stand out. One was from Duncan Sandbrook, and the other was actually from Rob Fink from Big Drop, and I guess
really?
he was like, "Oh, you know," like, I didn't really know a whole lot about Big Drop. I guess like they were still pretty early days, sort of. I think like it was about that time when we maybe sort of started to try it. Like I hadn't before we started working on it. I don't think we'd seen them because I guess they were still, you know, maybe in like I don't know if they were like Borough Wines or they weren't sort of in mass distribution at that point.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, Rob reached out. And we had a phone call. Like then, probably, I think that was like, I'd say that was maybe September before we launched in like the February, just as we were starting to like, yeah, look at breweries and that kind of thing.
And then where have you been since then? So you started at Sour and Brits, and then where else have you been?
Well, yeah, like I say, a few different places. West Berkshire, I think they're on your thing the other day.
Yeah.
They got the magic idea from somewhere. I don't know if it was us, but
when were you with them?
Start making some of their own alcohol-free pale ales, but that's by the by. Good luck to them. Yeah, no, we've used several other like places in the UK, so it's always just, you know, like in, you know, with what's going on at the moment, it's been quite difficult. Don't know if other people have been mentioning that, just to get, especially like canning and bottling capacity, because yeah, demand's been really great, but then everyone now wants to put their stuff into cans and bottles instead of kegs. Yeah. So that's been quite tricky. So you're kind of having to mix and match different options at times and stuff like that. But yeah, we just decided, I guess, because we're not brewers, like, you know, we work with Jen Merrick, was the head brewer at Beavertown for 3 years. Oh, yeah. He's sort of really helped us on the recipes, I guess, especially on like the hop side. And she's been really great. And then we work with, you know, I guess partner breweries just to kind of bring it to life where, you know, we're not really of the size or scope to sort of, yeah, to have our own brewery, and one where we can brew it to the quality that we'd like. Because we found as well that with non-alcoholic beers, it is better to brew on, you know, better kit, obviously, but like actually that tends to be the bigger kit, which you just tend to be able to sort of control things and dial things in a bit more on a higher level, and some of the smaller breweries can't necessarily do that.
Okay, yeah. So after you brought out you got your first beer, and then the other two that came shortly after, what was the sort of journey after that? Where did those beers get to? How did people start picking them up and getting you to where you are now, which is pretty much a household name in the alcoholic world?
I don't know about that, but
not far off.
Yeah, well, I guess we were pretty lucky. I mean, we were really lucky with our timing for a start. I think, like, you know, we got in relatively early. Obviously, there was Big Drop and there was Nirvana before us, but there wasn't really many other people sort of before that. And I guess when we launched at Craft Beer Rising a couple of years ago, we were just lucky that Tesco Bar was there, and we were the only alcohol-free beer at that show as well. Wow. I think, yeah, maybe there was Brewdog had some Nanny State at the back of their fridge at that time, but no one else. That was literally the only. Whereas if you went this year, 2 years on, there was over 10 options. Yeah. Say whether it be a few other, you know, specialist non-alcoholic brands or people that had sort of, you know, added them to their range and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess we met him then, and we launched in Tesco just about 6 months after, probably like August, September 2018. And then yeah, from there we managed to add some other supermarkets, and like Amazon has always been really generally quite good for us, which, you know, we decided to focus more in, I guess, the in-home market, I guess, rather than necessarily doing bars and pubs.
Yeah.
So much, and that's mainly, I guess that's a couple of reasons. Like, it's still just Tom and I in the business, so we, you know, we've only got so much time really, and like the bars and pubs is obviously very competitive for a small amount of space, and you know, slogging on the streets. Not that we're not prepared to put in the work, but it is a lot of work, and I think also we realised that like people will repeat buying on stuff a lot online and just stocking their fridges up. As like people who, as guys who drink, you know, alcoholic beer and everything else, it was like we probably drink our beer like every day, but we particularly would drink it on like you know, those sort of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, like really trying to get the week off to a good start kind of thing. And that's where, like something to grab in the fridge at the end of the day. And I guess like with like the fridge packs that we kind of have, like these ones in like that's always really served that market. So yeah.
Yeah, they look the part, don't they?
Cheers.
They like you say, it's like well, that's the whole name. So as an infinite session, you don't have to you don't have to worry about how many you're going to drink.
I think that's what it is for us. It was always, like I touched on at the start, like trying to strike that balance between, you know, standing out and fitting in. For us, it was always like, yeah, it's like don't worry, don't worry about how you drink. Don't worry about like how it's, you know, what statement it's making, whatever. It's like try to be quite a chilled out kind of brand, I guess.
Yeah, and like definitely a positive choice as well. It's trying to move away from that, you know, all those preconceptions that people have had around alcohol-free beer in the past, and just try and just be like, yeah, this can be a positive choice rather than like a distressed purchase, as it were.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you guys must have been one of the first in the UK to can as well. If Big Drop and Nirvana.
To be honest, I guess maybe had Nanny State got into can around similar, probably a bit before. I don't know. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, I wouldn't want to put too much on that because I think everyone was sort of heading that way.
Yeah.
We've always made like certain different experiments, some sort of like more on the down low than others. Like, you know, we went into Mother Kelly's on keg very early on as like a little
nice
trial, which was great. I mean, we launched with keg at the first festival, didn't we, as well?
Yeah.
And we have always really liked keg, but I guess with us not doing so much bar and pub, it's sort of you know, like that's been less on the front foot. And we did some our IPA we did as a hazy kind of on the down low. Really, it just sort of you bought it, there was a few hazy batches out there which I think were great and tasted great. Like probably this time last year, a bit earlier. But yeah, we're still like just trying to dial in certain things with filtering it is a bit more safe from like a stability and everything point of view. I don't know, like I think sometimes in alcohol free it's easy to get caught up in the trying to be the first for this and the first for that. You know, I think we've hopefully moved on from that now, where
I think sorry, go. I think
we could brew the world's first Jaffa Cake IPA or something like non-alcoholic, but I don't know if it really means anything.
No, I think there's something to be said for just getting what you do really, really good and not worrying about having to do brand new ridiculous stuff. That I guess it's the same as the craft beer world in the whole. Like that's that there'll be some people that will want to keep doing brand new weird stuff, but it doesn't mean you have to.
No, and I think like there's definitely a place for innovation, and like I think and all some of those new tastes and flavors and things that genuinely like bring things on are great. And I think it's sort of obviously for someone like us who's got like we're trying to manage our resources well. It's kind of we have tried to focus on just bringing up the quality of the sort of day-to-day beer, that core range where we can as much as possible. I think there is still sort of more we can do from a that point of view. There's still a lot of room to grow, getting beer as consistent and as great quality as we want it to be day in day out. And so you kind of got to manage all of that, I guess.
So that sort of looking ahead, then what does the future hold? You got your beers, perfecting your beers, and what's
well, I guess we just launched our online store. So I think like we've always sold like quite well online through Amazon and through like Dry Drinker and Wise Bartender and some of the other guys sort of online. But I guess now with what's happened with coronavirus, everyone's seen their online sales go up quite a lot. And so I guess with all of the brands out there, there's probably more of an opportunity to build like, better relationships with our customers and stuff like that. I think like we've heard and got more and more sort of direct feedback from people, which is like great, like emails and stuff. And I think like finding out more about what they're into and what their concerns are and what they want. And, you know, maybe that is a Jaffa Cake IPA, maybe or maybe it's a different, you know, it's focusing more on bottles, or it's, you know, different sizes. I don't know, but yeah, we're sort of trying to sort of listen and learn. We're not making too many like bold like moves. I guess like in lockdown, our two main things have been probably the website launch and then yeah, stay home. But yeah,
I think that's having more of a dialogue with your customers and stuff. That's when I've seen you guys at the Mindful Drinking Festival. Is that, do you get around to lots of, well, not anymore, but did you get around to lots of those things? And what was that like, getting to meet people and have those conversations?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done too many, but we've always sort of been involved with the Mindful Festival, which again has obviously got like a really great sort of core following of sort of non-alcoholic drinkers. And then we've also done sort of the craft beer sort of rising festival, I guess, which for us is more sort of targeted at that sort of moderators sort of section of our customer base. You know, people who do drink alcohol, but also, you know, want to be able to moderate their drinking more effectively.
Definitely. And do you think it is a balance for your customers? Like, what is it? Is it mainly the people that are looking to moderate, or a bit of both, or hard to tell?
I think it's always a bit of both for us. I mean, and again, at the end of the day, for us, it doesn't particularly matter. It's all about drinking on your own terms. That's kind of what, you know, it says on our cans. It's like what we really believe. Like, that's kind of where we've come at this from. So yeah, obviously as moderators ourselves, that's where we've come at this from. But, you know, whether you're a moderator or you don't drink alcohol at all, it shouldn't really matter. It should just be about having sort of a great sort of beer experience when you have it.
Yeah, definitely. And it really is. I'm really enjoying it. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers again.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. We got Lucky Saint coming up later as well, and Drop Bear and Nirvana. So we're having a bit of a British themed weekend. Thanks for kicking it off. Really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for doing it.
Yeah, good luck with your final day.
Thank you, and good luck with everything in lockdown and post-lockdown as well. I'm sure. Look forward to seeing all your peers.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye. See ya, man. Bye.